G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. I've got something a little bit different today. I really want to talk, bear with me. I really want to start to talk a little bit more about some of the history of Bitcoin, a little bit about Satoshi, and just other content that is out there. I want to try to give you little short briefs of really important stuff to read, or I think that you should read. If you have invested any money in this thing, or if you have any interest at all, there is such great information out there. I'm just going to help you guide. I'm just going to guide you there. If you want to read it, you can. If you want to watch these really short snippets, you can. Whatever I can do to get you to learn more about this is all I'm trying to do here. So let's get stuck into it today. And I think it's true for everyone that one of the hardest things to do is to actually describe Bitcoin to someone. It is frighteningly complex, although it doesn't seem it, it really is. And trying to get across what it actually does in a succinct and simple way can be very difficult. And I know myself, I tend to turn things into a bit of a word salad. And then people don't really get it. That's too confusing, Luke. What the hell? I'm out. So if we go way back to how all of this began, in the end, Satoshi actually probably had one of the clearest and easiest descriptions of what Bitcoin is. And a lot of his works can be seen in forums and books and other things. I'm going to show you those in a second. But first of all, I just want to read you how he describes Bitcoin. Now, he posted this in a forum. This is called a P2P Foundation forum. And he posted this on February the 11th, 2009. And it's really good. So just hear me out. Listen to the words that I say. And then we can talk to about a few things after. I'm going to skip elements of the post, but I'm going to hit you with the main beast, and then you can check this out later. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I'm going to put all the links in below, so you can run through and check out what you need to check out. The root problem with conventional currency is all the trust that's required to make it work. The central bank must be trusted not to debase the currency, but the history of fiat currencies is full of breaches of that trust. Banks must be trusted to hold our money and transfer it electronically, but they lend it out in waves of credit bubbles with barely a fraction in reserve. We have to trust them with our privacy, trust them not to let identity thieves drain our accounts. Their massive overhead costs make micropayments impossible. A generation ago, multi-user time-sharing computer systems had a similar problem. Before strong encryption, users had to rely on password protection to secure their files, placing trust in the system administrator to keep their information private. Privacy could always be overridden by the admin based on his judgment call, weighing the principle of privacy against other concerns, or at the behest of his superiors. Then strong encryption became available to the masses, and trust was no longer required. Data could be secured in a way that was physically impossible for others to access, no matter for what reason, no matter how good the excuse, no matter what. It's time we had the same thing for money. With e-currency based on cryptographic proof, without the need to trust a third-party middleman, money can be secure and transactions effortless. One of the fundamental building blocks for such a system is digital signatures. A digital coin contains the public key of its owner. To transfer it, the owner signs the coin together with the public key of the next owner. Anyone can check the signatures to verify the chain of ownership. It works well to secure ownership, but leaves one big problem unsolved: double spending. Any owner could try to respend an already spent coin by signing it again to another owner. The usual solution is for a trusted company with a central database to check for double spending, but that just gets back to the trust model. In its central position, the company can override the user, and the fees needed to support the company make micropayments simply impractical. Bitcoin's solution is to use a peer-to-peer network to check for double spending. In a nutshell, the network works like a distributed timestamp server, stamping the first transaction to spend the coin. It takes advantage of the nature of information being easy to spread but hard to stifle. For details on how it works, see the design paper at bitcoin.org/Bitcoin. The result is a distributed system with no single point of failure. Users hold the crypto keys to their own money and transact directly with each other, with the help of the peer-to-peer network to check for double spending. So as I said, really no one says it better than Satoshi, of course. And I think these are really important words and readings to learn about if you do ever have to explain this to someone. I've read through a fair bit of Satoshi stuff, but I probably need to do more. I think everyone probably needs to do more. We can all learn a lot from Satoshi. I think it's safe to say that nowhere near enough people have actually read the Bitcoin white paper. Now, if you're looking at this and you haven't read it, you need to stop and click the link below to the Bitcoin white paper. It is essential reading if you hold this asset. It gives you everything you need to know. It helps you understand exactly how it functions. And, quite frankly, it's very short. It's not going to take you long to read it 3, 4, 10 times to really wrap your head around this thing. He has managed to put into 9 pages the whole thing. Often we live life these days thinking that the longer something is, the better it is, or the more detailed it is, the more accuracy it provides. That's just not the case. And Satoshi basically tears that straight out and throws it in the bin. He does everything short, sharp, and concisely. He has no fuss. There is no unnecessary discussion. There is no unnecessary description. And really that encompasses Bitcoin itself. It's just clean and simple, and it just works. And that's part of why you should be reading the white paper. So this is bitcointalk.org. This has a lot of the discussions about Bitcoin from all of the parties involved, going way back from 2008 all the way through. So there's some really great history here. You will learn a lot about a number of different topics. Just dive into the rabbit hole and really get stuck into it. It's, it was an incredibly bumpy ride early. I can't even pretend to imagine. We thought holding Bitcoin in 2017 was, or 2018 in that bear market was actually, uncertain. But the times before that was just, it made that look like a cakewalk. And this bear market we're in, quite frankly, is a cakewalk compared to that. And then those other ones prior. The risk has been basically reduced consistently over time for holding it. And, these guys that understood it early, you got to give them props. They really did get it. And it is fantastic to read. So here on the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute, there is so much good stuff. This is just a brilliant website from the boys. So Michael Goldstein and Pierre Richard put this together, I believe. I'm not entirely sure when they put it together, but if you go to this website, you'll find there's a hell of a lot of great reading. This is obviously all Satoshi's stuff that I'm scrolling through now. It's just monstrous. And it is really interesting to read. Of course, they've got a bunch of other literature here, research stuff, and some mempool stuff. So they've got guest writers in. They've got some of their own pieces in. These guys are very intelligent. Do not get me wrong. They are certainly worth reading their work. And the work that they've picked to put into this website is essential. Bitstein is called Michael Goldstein. These guys have been, and Pierre Richard, of course, these guys have been around from the start nearly. Not the start, but right at the beginning. And, they're not really spoken about enough, in my opinion. They don't have a public facing push very often. And, it's certainly worth learning a bit about some of these guys. and reading the work that they think is important to Bitcoin. Obviously, this is the P2P Foundation itself, and again, I'll put this website down below, but basically you can go into search and look up, again, more forum-based discussions about Bitcoin, and they go through, as you can see, they just go through all sorts of stuff, and they talk about the developments of the types of eCash that was attempted prior. And you can learn a lot about that as well. eCash, e-money, BitGold, all of these types of things, and all of the inventors of certain components that were inevitably used in the Bitcoin makeup. Of course, Hashcash as well. So, really, really essential reading. Like, I can't stress this enough. You've got to get out there and do the work so you can build conviction to stack. And you want to stack, when you stack, then you want to be able to hold this bad boy. And if, you can go down to your TV and you can watch something. You can watch Love Island or whatever the hell reality crap is on. Or you can read some stuff about Satoshi and actually enlighten yourself on your future. It's very good. And finally, you need to probably buy this book, The Book of Satoshi, and this contains all of Satoshi's writings. It's indexed really clearly. It's lovely because it's in a book form. Everything else we do in Bitcoin is like screen based, so this is lovely. This is actually Satoshi's writing and his thinking and how he describes things. So you can learn a lot from this. It is a fantastic resource. And I actually can't recommend it enough to people. It's just excellent to read. It's laid out really well in like forum style. So a lot of the conversations in there are actually in conversation form. So really good. I recommend that as well. I'll put the link below also. All right, well, that's it from me. I hope you got a little bit of a clearer description of Bitcoin there from Satoshi. It is a really nice read, and the art of describing something is to make it simple in the end, and Satoshi understands that. Thanks again. Share this with someone that you think needs to read this stuff. I'll see you in the next couple of days. Stay well. Good luck. See you later.